Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Mongol Croonings Show with Abby and friends. And I hope you've been having a really good week. You know, sorry that we couldn't have the show last week. I've got family that is not well. So, it's something that I just have to deal with. So, I apologize because, in fact, thankfully the topic that we're supposed to do last week is what we're doing this week, but people are really looking forward to it. So I'm so excited that at least we can get on to the show with the topic. And I'm very excited to also introduce to us for the first time. She's watching, but she never joins. Well, she's joining today because she was the one who brought the topic. Very old Laraba. She's already put her head on her career. Laraba, join us.
I
Yay!
know, yeah, I'm
Hey
here.
girl.
Hi.
Long time no see.
Hey. I
How many
know.
years?
It's crazy. It feels like, you know what? It feels like it's been yesterday because we just got along so well, when we used
Yes.
to
We
go
met
to
the
the
one time at
Yeah.
the BBC,
Yes.
and it was
Okay.
like love at first sight.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think it's because we were the two Nigerians there, so we just were
And
able
we
to
went
bond.
down and we didn't care. We were telling them.
No, it was good times. It's good times. Good
Yeah.
times.
How have you
Yeah.
been though?
I've been really good. There've been just so many different things that I've been doing, but I've been seeing like, all the different things that you've been doing. And I was just like, girl, I'm gonna kind of give my own 2 cents about this, because I feel like it's relevant kind of like with what I'm doing. So I just
Okay.
thought,
So are you still in Nigeria? You're back.
I'm still here. I'm still here. So this thing, I'm doing so many different things here. So but yeah, I'm
Because I
gonna
was
be
looking at your face, like this face doesn't look like a Manchester face. So this face is looking like a Nigeria face. This
I
looks like a
know, right?
face that Nigeria is happening to.
To me. Nigeria is really soaked into me. No, it's an interesting place. I think the thing about Nigeria, the great thing about Nigeria is that it toughens you up, but in a way that kind of can be charming. In the sense that you're no longer ajebota. For those who know, they know. Hello, can you hear me? Ah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? What's up? Oh, stop. Oh. Can you hear me?
Hello? Sorry. Is your Nigerian English
Okay.
that wants to cannibalize my own? I
You
was
know,
like, I'm talking to her. She can't
oh,
even.
same.
We
That's
got
what I was thinking.
Sasha
That's the
waiting
thing.
in the wings. Let me bring Sasha on.
Nigerian
Hello,
internet.
girl.
Wow.
We can sense
Hey.
that you're there. We can't really see you, but we can sense by the glint of your glasses
I
that you're
feel,
there.
I
As
feel your
bright as I
presence.
get, I do
How
apologize.
you doing? How's your day?
Yeah, it's been good, thanks. Yeah, how's your day been?
Uh, it's been
Oh,
because I've had to go to the clinic to go get myself tested, you know, and then because of the kind of situation that is going on, family members have to be tested too.
Uh,
So it's just been one thing or the other. And then I had to go to college, which I really wasn't there. And then, when you've told them, look, this is what's going on, I can't do the things that you're asking us to do at the moment because I have a lot on my mind. And then they're now telling you off for not doing it,
yeah,
even though you've told them already. So it's like, I've told you, why are you telling me? You know what?
yeah.
Can we finish so I can go home? So exactly, I was like, I beg. At this point, I don't even have energy, time, or I just like, how quickly can we be done so I can go home? Thank
I mean,
you.
is this university?
college.
Yeah, well, college, yeah. No, I think that
They have a tendency of treating everybody like children, even when they're adults there.
yeah, I understand that. I understand that. That should be a topic in itself, like pressure from college
You
and
know
pressure
what? Like,
from
do you,
institutions.
even some of the assistant tutors have called me and gone, "Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
Like, why are you going through this? Why are you letting yourself go through this?" But you know what? Is every time they ask me, it makes me more determined because
Yeah, that's true.
college it college is touted for everyone. And
Mm,
yet when everyone comes, then they start to ask you, why are you here?
yeah.
And that is a very, very horrible, twisted, excuse me, horrible, twisted way of things, because you're the one who drops brochures in our houses saying, oh, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, come to college, it's for everybody. Then when you now go to the college, they now start to ask you, why did you come? Because
Mm,
of their own behaviors. Because
yeah.
if you're an adult in a young adult program, then it's like, why are you doing the young adult program? But it is open to adults. Yes, there might not be a lot of adults coming on, maybe because of this attitude.
Yeah.
Because how many adults want to be spoken to as if they're a child by
Yeah.
somebody that they most likely are older than?
Yeah, exactly,
You
exactly.
know, like, come on,
Yeah.
let's be respectful towards each other, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I just think the thing about these educational institutions that I've realized is that it's not worth, like, obviously, don't get me wrong, I obviously believe in the power of education, but I myself can speak to the fact that, usually the pressure that they tend to put on students is just because of them wanting those students to meet a standard, but it's more or less self-serving. And I
It's
think
not
when you
even
get
that.
to,
There really isn't any preparation. And I'm speaking on a general term, not even where I am.
yeah,
You want to prepare young adults for the future, to be able to go to university or to be able to go to work. You
mm,
let them be disrespectful. You let them walk out of class whenever they want. You let them. There's always, and I understand. And when I say excuse, I'm not saying that they are lying, but they let every learning disability become bigger than it is. Oh,
yeah,
how did you do your assignment? I'm dyslexic. Oh, okay, okay. That like in the
yeah,
in the outside world, who's
yeah.
gonna care whether you're dyslexic? If
That's
your boss gives you a job and they give you the bare minimum, because no job is going to be giving you an assistant to do your job, to read your things to you. Nobody
oh,
has.
mm,
They will give you the bare minimum way of help. You
yeah,
have to figure it out. And it's
mhm,
from school that they should be encouraging kids to try and figure it out. But it's,
yeah,
oh, we'll get you this tutor to help you. We'll get you that to help you. And even with that, they can't be bothered. They are more
yeah,
interested in sucking face in college than
yeah,
actually, oh, who's, oh, I'm in love with this person, I'm in love with that person. Really? You have enough time to fall in love. Oh, focus on focus
yeah,
on being able to be useful in society. But they
yeah,
don't even encourage that. It's like cuddle them as much as, and then release them, and then they're disillusioned, they're confused because they're not entered a world where nobody's telling them yes all the time.
mm, mhm.
Nobody is, they can't walk out of a class in uni and the tutor is running after them going, oh, what's wrong? Do you want to discuss your feelings? You will fail.
He's speaking like a true Nigerian, but it's so
It's
funny.
true. You will fail.
You're right. And the thing, the thing to say about
No,
that
sorry,
is any.
Laraba. Sasha, am I lying?
No, it's true.
They
No, no.
will fail. And the
No,
thing is
you're
like,
correct. No,
who
you're correct.
is going to tell these kids that they are being set up to fail?
Exactly. You're so, you know what, you are so correct, because I kind of think that the thing is, looking back on my education, that I mean, and I went to a private school, but I was in no way, shape, or form prepared for the real world. What I was supposed to have learned then, I'm actually learning now. And also added to that, one thing that I think that, the good thing, like when people threaten to send their children to Nigeria, if you're misbehaving and we're just in Nigeria, it's kind of good in a way, because when you're in a place like Nigeria, there is no time to sort of sit and wallow in not necessarily your feelings, but in every emotional
My dear, everybody
feeling,
has feelings in
you know.
Nigeria. Everybody is going through feelings.
Yes, but the thing,
Your own
like
is not
this
special.
is,
Okay?
yes, but the thing that's quite controversial. I'm going to say something that's quite controversial. In the West, there's this
But don't
sense
let me get cancelled on social media. I beg.
that you
Yeah,
can say
I
no
was going to
problem.
beg
I'll
you
put it
because
on
I know
myself.
you.
But it's
I'm
because
begging you.
don't worry, I'm not going to involve you. This is on me. But it's just, I think before leaving, because obviously that there's this sort of sense to try and include everybody and pronouns and all of these different things. And then coming to Nigeria, you realize that there's no time for things like that. Whoever you want to be, or whatever experience you're feeling in that moment is fine. It's fine to be whoever you want to be. But if you're now going out and then saying that everybody has to accept all of these different things, then that's where it becomes a problem. In Nigeria, people don't have time. People don't even really care. Okay, you are a they, them. That's fine. Whoever you want to be, you can be. So I kind of think that that's kind of something that children need to be aware of, that whoever you want to be, it's fine. But at the
It is
same time,
not
know that it's
everybody
fine.
else's problem.
Exactly. It's not, and it's also not your whole personality. There's so much more to you than you being XYZ. I'm dyslexic, or, I can't do this because I'm dyslexic, or I can't do this. You can, if you
It's not
really,
even that. It
really,
is the whole thing of because I'm feeling this way or because I'm
yeah,
like this,
yeah,
everybody
has to
must
learn
be
to know.
involved.
Exactly. And people
My
put their
dear,
business out. This
we
is the
are
problem.
going through things in Nigeria. We do not have time to feel what you are feeling because if that's the case, then everybody must feel what I'm feeling too. Because
Exactly. That's the thing.
look at what's happened in Nigeria recently. There isn't cash. I don't even know how you're surviving. There is no cash. There is
Yeah.
actually no cash in the
Yeah. Yeah.
system.
There's
If you're not Nigerian watching this, what I'm trying to say is cash was withdrawn from the people before the elections. People were encouraged to take every cash that they had and
yeah.
put it in the bank, right? So that put it in the bank because we're changing the money. So it's not a gradual rollout or whatever. They gave them about 30 days. 30 days, send all the money you have in your house to the bank because we're
Mm,
changing the money. Now,
mhm,
everybody went and dropped their money in the bank thinking, okay, I'll be able to get the new notes.
mm.
No new notes. The new notes were being
Martin.
limited to the powerful. So
Mm,
the normal common person couldn't go to the market to buy pepper, bread,
mm,
eggs, nothing because there was no cash. And
mhm.
a lot of the people who have things in the market, they don't have bank accounts like that. So you can't even go and do oh okay, I will use my card and credit you the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have the cash you couldn't buy food to eat, and if you didn't
Mm,
have the cash you couldn't sell. At a point in time I actually saw videos of people taking things to the market to do trade by barter. Like
yeah.
people would take, maybe a transistor radio to the market and be like, how many tomatoes and peppers can I get for this radio? It's crazy in 2023. So then imagine someone going, oh, I'm dyslexic in Nigeria. Really? Please, 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 please. Go away.
But if I'm to play devil's advocate, it's to be honest, I see both sides, because I do know people who do struggle, but I think it's
Yes,
still
of
very important we
course.
talk about it, because I feel like the thing is, I've seen many videos, and I think the reason why I think like this is because I've lived in Nigeria for an extended period of time. I know that
How
people
long have
kind
you
of
been
pick
there
on.
now?
I've been here for quite some time, over 2 years, because there's so much
Are
that's been
you
happening.
crazy?
Yeah, I've been there. I said to my mom, I said I've changed, but it's a good change because I think that you become more grounded. Because I think the thing is, when you're in the West, it's a funny dichotomy because, and speaking as a black person, that is,
Mm.
everything is provided for you in a sense, but at the same time, you don't really feel like you're part of the culture. But the irony is that, like I say, it goes back to what we're talking about. There's a little bit of a pandering. Everybody has to sit at the table. Nobody has to strive or anything, and all of these different things. But in Nigeria, you have to strive.
Ah.
You have to strive. You have to strive. There's no like gender neutral toilet, nothing like that you find in England, nothing like that. You know, you
Ah.
have to strive. You have to work. It doesn't matter who you are.
And your striving
But
is even your personal problem. It's not everybody's problem because
exactly.
everybody else is striving just like you. So you
Mm.
can't go, oh, I'm striving. It's so hard. It's so hard. They're like, it's hard for everybody. What are you talking about?
That's what
We are
people
all
say.
in the same pot of soup. We are all
Yeah.
just trying not to cook at the same time.
Yeah.
We are all, it's
That's a
true.
good
We are
that's a
all in
good
the same
point.
pot of soup, but some of
Yeah.
us are trying not to be absorbed into the seasoning as much
Yeah.
as others.
I like
Sorry,
that.
Sasha, you were saying.
Sasha, yeah. I was gonna say, what do you think?
What did you
Huh?
say, Sasha?
I was just saying, is that you're like, well, we're saying England and we're all in the same boat. Is there a Nigerian saying you're all in the same pot of soup?
Yes, we're all in the same boat, but we are
Yeah.
all we're trying to sink at different times. We don't all want to sit.
Same
So
jollof.
so you can't be going, oh, I'm in the boat. We are all in the boat. But the boat is leaking.
No, but I was thinking the other day about like how is it? Because I do believe that there are problems and that they should be addressed. I believe
Of
in
course.
therapy and I believe in all of these different things, by the way. But I think it's the way we talk about it. I think sometimes rather than kind of finding solutions, sometimes we just revel in the problem, like, oh, and it's like everybody talks about it. Like my trauma when I was like 13 years old was this, and this. And then everybody's just like, if you think about like the Will and Jada situation,
Mm.
that I think is part and parcel of the problem of society. People don't necessarily know the importance of being an adult and dealing with your problems within your inner circle, you know. And I think that that's been
Social
part of
media has made it that you have a problem, you take it onto social media.
everybody needs to know.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to see, and you want to be relatable. Like, all of these celebrities that say, for example, "Oh, I've got to be relatable. I've got to say everything that I eat. I've got to say what I'm eating. I've got to say where my house is located. I have to say, where my child's school, so that I am relatable." And I'm thinking, no, you're making yourself more vulnerable. But I think that at the end of the day, I think that everybody can be their own healer. And I think that there are genuine problems like dyslexia, depression, anxiety. That's not me saying that they don't exist, but I think that it's on you. And I think that you have to kind of figure that out for yourself and
I
improve
don't
yourself.
totally agree with that. I
Okay.
I
That's
I I I understand the Nigerian situation, but let's be realistic. The
mm,
reason why we are having increasing cases of suicide in Nigeria is
mm,
because of this mentality of it's your problem, go deal with it. No, I don't believe in that. I believe, look, it's your problem. Go to where there is help. Don't make it
mm.
everybody's problem. Make
Yeah,
it
but that's
the
what I mean.
problem of the people who can help you.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I
So
mean though. I mean,
take
like,
it to
we,
where you can
yeah,
get help. Don't
yes,
just come and go, ah, I'm like this. And then everybody's like, uh-huh.
yeah,
Instead,
exactly. That's
look
what I
for
mean.
look
Yeah,
for where you and the problem with a lot of us Nigerians, and I'm saying us, including me, we
yeah,
hate research. We hate to look
yeah,
for something. We hate to read up on something. We would rather pay someone to read it and tell us. And the person
exactly,
won't read it. They'll just tell us that, well, it says this and that and that. It might not be, which is what's happened to a lot of people when they were relocating, leaving Nigeria and coming here. Instead of going on the website, reading the information, they're like, ah, too much English. They wrote too much grammar. They please,
Yeah.
what are they saying? And then
Yeah.
somebody who didn't even understand what is being will come and say, they said this and this and that. And then the person will now get on the plane, get here, and find out that the situation is totally different.
Yeah.
You don't want to know how many Nigerian students have had to say, "Didn't you read it?" I've had to say to
Yeah.
them, "Didn't you read it?" And they go,
Yeah.
they said, and I'm like, so when you are coming here to be a student, and you
Mhm.
couldn't be bothered to read, you went to meet somebody who went to the same free website. It's free, or you don't pay. It's free to read.
Information.
Went there to read it, and instead of you reading it yourself, you now went to ask them for secondhand information. And now you are here stuck doing the wrong things and wondering why you're in trouble.
Mm. Well, then that's been the problem. I think the thing is that if I mean I'm a proud Nigerian, don't get me wrong, but I think the Nigerian problem is that my dad says something wise. He says we lack critical thinking, and I think that comes from a culture in which if our pastor says, for example, it exists. If our pastor says,
Hey,
God,
Laraba, no, again, no.
sorry, maybe I'm just in that. Okay, let me not mention pastor, but what I mean by that is, so let me keep it cool.
Please.
But what I mean is that in general, okay, whoever, we don't necessarily have the tools, we don't or confidence to really look at things and say, I don't know, let me figure it out. And what you said makes sense to me in that, when you were talking about having people who are depressed going to places where there's help. That's what I'm referring to. It's on you to go to find people or resources or reach out, because I think that sometimes, like, there's a song called I don't know, you must have heard of it, Libyanka People, but it irritated
Yeah,
me because
yeah.
basically this is just my own personal opinion, but I was just like, she was basically saying that nobody reached out to her, nobody's did this. I said, did you reach out?
Out
That
to
was what I was thinking.
someone.
Did you reach out? Because everybody's busy. This is the point.
And other
You
people
know,
are going through their own depression.
Thank you. If it were that she reached out, and nobody actually said anything, then that can be a part of the song. But she was just basically saying, "I've been drinking alcohol in my room, and nobody has said anything." Like, how are we supposed to know? Because you have a mouth.
Ah, these 2 years you spent in Nigeria has made you hardened.
Maybe, but
You
it's
have become.
true.
This is not the soft, gentle Laraba that I knew. What happened? Did they make you drink
Like,
iron water or what?
I have no longer a butter.
At all, because even when you're talking, you're like, I'm like, what is this?
I've changed. No, I've changed, but it's good. No, but I think the thing is, you get it's about perspective, because I think that's the issue. If you look at something and it's it's hard, then you will see it as hard, and it's on you. I think that's the thing. You are your own savior.
There's a fine Sasha. I mean, you're hearing two Nigerians talk about something that is you know Nigerians, you know me, you know some other Nigerians, but I'm sure the Nigerian experience isn't so unique, but it's also unique in its own way. So uh, within your community, is the thought process the same, or is there a difference? Like, is it more British, like, there's so much help out there, you can reach out for help, there are people here to make sure that you're okay? Or is it like Laraba, who has drank iron water and is now a strong woman and does it's like, it's your problem?
No, that's not what I'm really referring to, but I know what you
Totally
mean.
I'm
fine.
busy.
Well, I mean, I think what it is, in the westernized way of thinking, I always say, like, you know, because I was born here, so I am westernized in some ways. But the way my mum is, she's very still much. She's got that mentality from back home, and I think if you're from Africa, Caribbean, like if you have problems like depression and things like that, it's like you've just got to own your shit and get on with it, type of thing. There isn't much sympathy, you know. And I was brought up by a very strong black woman as well.
Mm.
I'm not saying that, obviously there's times, you know what I mean, and things get to you, especially with what's been going on these past few years. But the way I was brought up, it's kind of like you just sort of get on with things, you know. I feel like quite lucky, really. I had it easy. I mean, my mum tells me the stories from back home, and she was like 5 or 6 years old. She can remember holding a lamp for a granddad to slaughter animals.
Mm.
She had to go to the market, and they all had to. Well, she was brought with her grandma actually. Their grandma had, like let's say, a son and daughter's kids as well as their own. So they all had to basically do something, to
Mm-hmm.
eat. This is the thing. They had it really tough. So I consider myself, like I say, I've had it pretty easy, really.
Yeah, you just trot into Tesco's and get what you want.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
And
good.
Morrison's five minutes
Yeah.
away where I live.
Exactly. And you're good.
I never take it well, it for granted. That's the thing. Because my
But
my
if I
father
could,
had.
yeah, sorry. If you finish, Sasha, I just want to
Yeah.
say, I think that to be fair, there are two sides. I think, like I said before,
Mm.
what I'm referring to is depression and all of these things exist, and there needs to be compassion. But at the same time, it's that balance, it's
That's
that
the
balance,
issue, the balance.
the balance, And I think sometimes, because one thing that I realized, because I had a friend, well, an ex friend really, who kind of was, whenever I would, because obviously I've gone through some things that haven't been pleasant, and she ironically was there at those moments. But I noticed that whenever I would talk and revel in these things, it was almost like there was a sense of not necessarily happiness, but some kind of sort of sense of, yeah, you really did go through that, didn't you? Rather than kind of like, and,
Snap
and
out
I,
of it.
not snap out of it, but like, yeah, this is what you went through, but you are stronger than this,
Other
and
than
you
that.
go through. Those are good friends, that go to therapy, do whatever you need to do, but don't stay there. That's something that my mom always tells me, that whatever frame of mind you're in that may be not necessarily as positive as it can be, don't stay there. And it helps, having people around you that encourage you, that say you can do it. You have depression, you have anxiety, you have dyslexia, but this is not you, that you can rise and you can really reach forward, so that's kind of like what I'm referring to. But Nigeria has
But
tons.
what, something you said, today after college, performing arts students were doing something, so I stopped to watch, to support, because it's my department. And a young lady was brought to sit beside me. This girl, I'm telling you, maybe she's all of maybe 2 feet, 2 feet 5 inches there, but like tiny. And there's something obviously wrong with her hands, because she couldn't hold her camera properly like this. She had to hold it like that, like
Right.
her hands are curled in. And so they were doing a singing bit, which was a bit terrifying, but okay. They did that, and then they were now doing a dancing bit. And she turned to me and she's like, "Oh, I love this. This is like my favorite. I love dancing." And I was like, "Yes, the dancing is like, these guys are really good and everything." And she was like, "I'm a dancer myself." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." I was like,
Mm.
"So why haven't you come to the department to join?" She was like, "No, no, no. That she dances in other places, and she dances on TikTok. That she has a lot of TikTok dances and everything. But she, like, she's a dancer." And I looked at this beautiful, gorgeous, very tiny girl, and I started thinking about other people I've met in the program, who, when you look at them, tall, handsome, they've got, everything. Physically, everything is okay. And they will teach them this morning, say, "Oh, this is shit. I hate my life." And I'm like, and here is a girl who the world on a normal basis would be like, "There's nothing here." And
Yeah.
she's proudly a dancer. And she's not just proudly a dancer. She has dances. Like this girl goes and learns dances and everything. And is about that human spirit of resilience. That
Yeah,
that thing of, you know what, even whatever hand I've been dealt, I'll make the best out of it. While there's
exactly.
some who they'll be
That's
dealt the
it.
best
Yeah.
hands, and they will
Mm,
still complain and whine and
yeah.
have every reason, and everybody too will be running after them. Oh, you're wonderful. Oh, you're great. I'm like, okay, if you say you're rubbish, you're rubbish. Uh-huh.
Exactly. I
I'm not
agree with
going. If that's what you want to call yourself, knock yourself out.
that.
If I've told you one time you're not rubbish, you're good, and then
Yes.
you come
You say
tomorrow and say,
it
"Oh,
again.
I'm rubbish," I'm gonna leave you because I
Exactly.
don't have time. I
No,
don't
it's
have time.
feeling sorry for themselves. Yeah.
And
Sasha, you want to say? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
oh,
I agree with you on that, Abby, because I know people like, and I think in comparison, like I've got some friends, I mean, like yourself, and I think it's wonderful what you're doing because I know, sometimes you must be in a lot of pain and you must be like really pissed off
oh,
and everything,
you have no
but you
idea.
still got on with it. You're still a happy person. You're
Yeah.
still like right, and and it's like you sort of like when you're talking and you sort of like send out that to everybody, and everyone's like, yeah, and they're buzzing because your energy. And like sometimes you may be, oh, I'm tired, and then you apologize. Like when we came to see you in Puss in Boots, which was absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
But
thank you.
it was really good, and you still get on with it, and you're doing your radio, and you're doing this show, and blah. And then other people, and I think they've got everything. Like I say, your health is your wealth, yeah. But yet they still moan about just trivial, like things that don't really. Do you know what I mean? When I think, oh, it's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, I've not got enough money to get some, I don't know, designer.
Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this
Oh,
material
my
crap.
mom got me some sneakers. Well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
That's cool. Oh, they were in
no,
designer.
Uh,
because I'm not. Well, I mean,
yes.
everybody likes nice, but you can go to TK Maxx and get like stuff in the
Yeah.
sale. Do you know what I mean?
I have a question though, and
Huh?
I'll ask it to both of you. Do you feel like, and I'm gonna, I don't mean to throw British culture under the bus, but do you feel like in Britain, especially in the media, do you feel like people like to feel sorry for people? Like they'll be like, oh, if for example, say there was a British Will and Jada Smith, do you think that people would outwardly say, oh my gosh, I feel sorry, but then inwardly they kind of feel like, yeah, actually, it's good that they're not them. That's what I feel, and that's
We
kind of
have a British Will and Jada.
Oh,
who
the
are
Smith.
Harry and Meghan.
Isn't it though? Have you noticed these
that
with
is,
money are more messed up though? That's what I tend to find anyway. Because,
I
but
feel like they're
also
unique though.
I, f- I
But go on,
find
sorry.
Wait,
it's
let
not.
me hear Sasha.
Yeah, go
Uh,
on, sorry.
I don't know about how you feel about this, but
Yeah.
it's like some people are like, oh well, they've got millions. What do they have to, worry about type
Moan
of thing?
about.
They should. But I think the more money you have, the more, yeah, messed up you can be. You know,
Maybe.
because
Yeah,
I
of
know
course.
people.
More money, more
Well,
problems. Vicky gave that
that's
very,
what I mean.
very important.
People, yeah, people
I
that
like
I know
that.
who are much are happy. You know, it's like they're
Mm,
under less stress. They're more spiritual, like myself. I think they're more in touch with, well, I try to be, in touch with
mm,
Mother Earth, that. And even
mm,
my niece, I mean, I can remember her coming around to my flat, and she was like, "Oh my God!" She's like, "It's like, what is it like? What is it they call it in Harry Potter? Because I've just got stuff everywhere, and it's just all crazy because I'm into my arts and
mm.
crafts, like Abby, and it's colourful, and do you know what I mean? I've not got a TV, one of those big TVs and
Mm,
PlayStation, all the fancy stuff. But she's like, do you
mm,
know what, Auntie Sasha? She's like, you're happy. You are really happy, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah.
mm.
No, and I could have all that crap if I wanted
And
to,
I know
because that's
Sasha. Sasha lives a very modest life.
yeah,
Very
that's the thing.
modest. You don't even
Yeah.
have a. Do you have a TV in your house? Last time I came, there wasn't one.
No, I mean, my TV, well, it was a couple of years ago and it sort of broke. And I thought, you know what? Because at the time, and it, like, I think it was in
Mm.
lockdown, It was like I just watch. Oh, I'm not even going to bother to replace it because you just start watching all the negative, the news and all that. I mean, because I can watch stuff on
Mm.
my laptop, phone. I can download stuff,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
not really missed it.
I
Yeah,
completely get what you're saying.
Yeah, I
Now,
think
I mean, both of you, you and Laraba are both British, like you're British born. I'm British by living here, so I'm Nigerian born. Yeah, and I know that when I
by
came to this
association.
country, eh? What did you
Let's
say,
say you're
Laraba?
British by association.
I'm
I said
British,
British by
exactly. I'm
association.
British by association. I'm not by birth. But the thing is, from what I've seen here, that's why you see we have this saying first world problems versus third world problems, because
Mm.
third world problems is basically food, shelter, you know access to at least minimum amount of money that can get you what you need, that kind of thing. Then we can, once that has been sorted out, we can start looking at the little jaye, the little enjoyments that you can do. Unlike first world, where food really isn't a problem. Although
Yeah.
now is we are now slowly becoming a second world situation,
I know.
you know,
Yeah,
but food technically isn't a problem. Transport, accommodation technically isn't a problem. Getting money, now whether you get it by job or by social welfare or whatever, still technically not a problem. Unlike in Nigeria, Laraba, if you lost your job today, because who's gonna give you money? Nobody. You're
The thing.
gonna have to go out and find that money one way or the other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mm.
that
Mm.
that whole thing of, this is what I was saying to someone. I said, if it was a Nigerian that was Megan, I said, do
Mm.
you think that all this stuff that's gone on with Harry and Megan would happen? Like, for where that Nigerian woman will be like, I die here. I will die here. If they tell me that I have to be licking the queen's shoes in the morning, I
I
will
lie.
lick it. I will
No,
lick it, because
yeah.
she knows where she's coming from, and she
Yeah.
never wants to go back there. So
Yeah.
even if it's like, okay, they're being racist. They said, my son, they're not sure what color. Don't worry. If he's too brown, I will bleach him. You understand? Like,
Right.
she will
Imagine
let
someone
it.
in Nigeria
I
saying
think
that.
when you are suffering, you let a
Yeah.
lot of things roll off your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't sit down in, oh, my feelings are hurt. Oh, they said this about me. Oh, da, da, da.
Mm.
And it's not a case of lack of self-respect. It's a
Mm.
it's a case of bigger perspective.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
I
case of,
was,
I am
yeah,
seeing, sorry, Laraba, it's a case of, this is small fries compared to what I'm looking at.
big
Because
young
with
prize.
all due respect, the queen
Mm.
wasn't going to be there forever and ever. So
Yeah.
even if she lived another 10, 20
Mm.
years,
Mm.
she go. Eh? And
Mm.
I have to make sweets with the next king of England. Whether it's the direct son or the grandson, I have to make sweets with them, because if I make sweets with them, then it's sweet for me, my kids' kids. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it was
Yeah.
a Nigerian woman, she won't go and be like, this one, yeah, let us go back to even if her husband is like, I'm sick of this, I don't want to be despair. Be like, come on, will you shut up? Why did you despair before I married you? Come on, will you sit down?
This is so accurate. No, but I was. Oh,
Let me
that's
bring
so
up Mr.
accurate.
H. Mr. H, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. H is laughing. No, am I lying now? I'm not lying.
Right.
But
Can I
I
ask
mean,
you a question?
Wait. Let
Was it
Mr.
was
H go. Oh, sorry. Okay, Mr. H, before you come on, Sasha has a question, yeah?
Oh yeah, sorry. While we're on the subject of the royal family, because I'll just tell you all now, I'm just not into the royal family whatsoever. Was
Hmm.
was anybody like here now that bothered when the Queen passed away? Was it like, oh, what's it like in
I,
Nigeria?
I had a
Like, because I know
good
in the
relationship.
Caribbean they love the royal family. Um,
Yeah, I feel like
Larva,
most.
yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
I was just gonna say, I, I do have a weird relationship, and I'll answer your question. I, I did have a, I think that there's, I don't know if this is the effect of colonialism, but I did feel a sentimentality towards the Queen, just because I think whether we like to admit it or not, they have had a presence in our lives. Um, but going back to like the Prince Harry thing, I think the thing with
Your internet is misbehaving, Laraba. Okay, Mr. H, while we wait for Laraba's internet to behave,
Prince Harry
thanks
for
for joining us.
okay, I'm back though.
Sorry,
I'm
Laraba,
back though.
your internet went against your internet was like Laraba, answer the question and move on. Don't go back to Prince Harry.
Right.
I just
Okay, let me
people
just say
just
this.
moved away.
I think that
They
Prince,
just be quiet now in their lives, don't they? I'm sick of like Harry's. He's coming out now because his
mm,
grandmother's gone, and it's like my mum's like, oh yeah, but I like Prince Harry and Meghan. I'm just like, oh, she's even went and brought the book. That's like I could have better. She could have spent 25 pounds. Okay,
yeah,
so he's
that's
lost his mum, and I don't feel for him, and in that
mm.
way. But I'm just not really that interested. I don't mean
No,
sound
I'm not
cold, but
interested. To me,
I am.
the only
I
person that was worth looking at the royal family has passed to me, and that was the
mm,
queen. There was something about the queen. There was a certain gravitas she had. There was a certain atmosphere. I had the, and I would say, good pleasure of actually meeting her when she came to Manchester. She came to our office, and I was in the lineup, so we just did that curtsy, welcome mom kind of thing, and but we all stood there and watched when she came, and we were all excited and all of that. And then this woman stepped out from the car, and I was like, I'm taller than her. I'm 5'1". I could see the middle of this woman's hat. So I'm going,
wow.
what? She is a very
uh,
small woman,
No.
or she was a very small woman.
uh,
But there's something about the fact that my mother was
mm,
named after her, right? My
uh,
mom, my mom is 74. I'm sorry, mommy, for putting out your age there, but yeah, that's her age. So, my mom was named after her. And
Yeah,
this woman, whether we like it or not, has had a massive effect in a
exactly.
lot of things that we, when things are going on. Now, I've heard some people, and as far as I'm concerned, they're reaching when they say, "Oh well, she plundered our lands," and I like, when did she plunder your land?
But there's some
Because
truth
what
about
a lot of people forget is that she's not a political head. She's a figurehead. This
it.
woman spent a lot of her years carrying scissors and opening parks, halls, collecting flour. That's what she spent her life doing. She had
yeah.
no real power. It was
I mean, people.
because as
Well,
soon as
people think.
parliament
Oh,
became the power, they would
Mm.
advise. All she could do was advise. She had no.
mm. It's what they
Dr.
represent,
Sedu
and
is laughing at me. She had no real power to do anything. She couldn't tell the prime minister, you know what? I don't like what is happening in Azgabasgan. I want you to go and bomb them. They'll look at her like, okay, you're getting seen now. Please go and sit down somewhere. Nobody's gonna listen to her. She had no political power. So when I'm hearing people like, she went and stole Kirikok, and I'm like, when? She went and bombed one day. When? I'm like, okay, when now? When? When did
She
you do
did
all of this?
represent, but I think this is the thing. I think what I was going to say about that I think is relevant to the Harry and Meghan situation is that I do think that the issue was that Meghan was naive. But if you look at it, it is a system, right? It's a living, walking machine. That's the royal family.
She
Yeah.
wasn't naive. She was coached for 6 months before she came out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the thing, I
Ah,
think that
come on, Laraba, you and I.
no, but she was. I think that the thing is, you know how British people can be. people are not very, and I think that I think her crime was being naive. I don't think that she is this
No,
sort of,
her crime was being American. American people
but
believe
that's
that
the
they
thing.
know everything,
But the
and
thing
most of the
about,
time they don't know.
yeah, but that may be to a certain extent. But I think that the thing is that she romanticized the British culture, and I think, we for example are very much aware of British culture. British culture means not wearing your heart on your sleeve, not being emotionally expressive, not necessarily being very touchy feely, and all of these different things. And I do think she had a hard time. And I think the thing about the royal family is that, somebody like Harry, and like I said, I'm a little bit forget. I think that, the book was a bad idea, though. I genuinely think the book was kind of like the worst thing that he could
I
have
have
done.
bigger problems than Harry, so
But I think,
he
but I
should
think
get his money anyhow he wants. He
exactly in
doesn't
a way.
concern
But I
me.
think that this is a guy. Personally, for me, I think this is a guy in pain. And I think that you have to, people are not really as compassionate as they can be, because this is a guy. I always say that this young guy was pimped ever since he came out of his mother's womb.
Madam, he was in pain.
He
That's
was
what.
pimped.
Please, Lara, don't annoy
But don't
me.
you
Mr.
think about
Wait,
it?
Mr. H, please
People
welcome.
are, am I
Eh,
wrong?
eh,
Am I wrong?
don't annoy me. Mr. H, welcome. Mr. H is like, have you people finished? Can I talk now?
Hey,
How was your day?
Or
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
welcome now. Talk now.
yeah, Abby, what can you just give me a preamble of what you guys
We're
yeah.
just doing preamble talk. Oh, we've not gone into the topic itself. We're just you know how we started the show. We started the show just talking. Emmanuel, please can you check your devices, because it says your devices are not connected, so it's not allowing me to add you on. So please can you check that? So Mr. H, the topic is society versus self, appearance edition. So if you remember on the group, we had the video where um oh,
Joan
what's her
Rivers.
name now?
Joan
What's her
Rivers and
name?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi
Joan.
Goldberg was being interviewed by Joan Rivers, and there was this whole thing about, oh, Whoopi isn't considered a beautiful woman. I wish I actually had that video so I could put it on. Let me see if there's a way to put it on. Can you send it to me as a video, not as a link, Laraba? Then I can put it on and play it for us. Because it's a
I
link
don't
and I
think
can't
it's gonna be
play it.
possible. I don't know if that's going to be
Okay,
possible.
if
I
we
will
can.
have
So,
to see what.
anyways, it's a video. It's a video of Joan Rivers, who is a white woman, interviewing Whoopi, who's a black woman with dreadlocks and everything. And Whoopi was like, "I'm beautiful,"
Yeah.
and Joan Rivers was like, "Really? You really think you're beautiful?" Like, yes, I am beautiful. And
Can you
you know,
imagine?
and even Whoopi was like, "You're beautiful," and John
Mm.
couldn't accept that she was beautiful without plastic surgery. And we all know she did a lot of plastic surgery till she died. In fact, she was having another one when she unfortunately passed. And so we're talking about how we view ourselves versus society with regards to appearance. I mean, one of the guys that was touted here in the early days of Mongolo croonings, Steve, this man that died, this there's a
Steve.
guy, um Kevin Samuels. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he always anytime he was talking to women, he would say, on a scale of 1 to Beyonce, how beautiful are you? Where would you put yourself? And
Yeah.
to him, Beyonce was the standard. And it's
Yeah.
like, but in the scheme of things, is Beyonce really that beautiful? It take away the wig, take away the makeup. Is she beautiful on her own?
Mm.
Without all the enhancements, is she actually that beautiful? I have seen many women that even Beyonce will be like, let me just slide away from here right now. So, so I was like, why are you using Beyonce as the ultimate in beauty? There are many women who are unknown, who are that you. I mean, I have passed women in town in life where I'm like, hey, I have to go and do some repair work on my self-esteem today. Because ah Look at beauty. Somebody looking like 50,000 children all at once.
That's-
You
but
know?
yeah, but don't you think that's a societal
Wait.
thing?
I'm still explaining to Mr. H.
Oh, I'm
I've not
sorry.
started this discussion, Laraba. Wait, calm down. Let us be calming down for Jesus. So basically, what we are going to be discussing today, for anyone who's watching and going, I thought I saw Society versus Self Appearance Edition, and now I'm hearing Harry, Meghan, Queen, this one, that one. We were just doing preamble chat. It is basically about how do we as individuals rate ourselves. Is if do we, should we even rate ourselves? Who created the rating system? What is the point of the rating system? Because if you read the blurb, I was saying that it even affects things like morality, things like identity, all of that. you know Especially now with so many cases of LGBTQ and all of that, especially with the transgender. You will see some transgender women, and there was one when I saw her, I was like, wow, this lady is beautiful. And but she hadn't done the downstairs thing, and she actually did it so it was prominent. So the guy so there was a video of the guy looking at her going, wow, she's gorgeous. And then she moves, and then the male member that she still has shook. And the guy was like, what? And I just rose. I said, men are in trouble because many straight men will take home transgender women who they thought were natural women, only to be it is they're going to be confused. And there's this whole thing about, should transgender women declare to men that they're transgender? Yes, you should, because not every you can't slyly drag somebody into what they don't want to be, because then that person now might now start having a crisis of, if I was attracted to a man who is now a woman, what does that say about me? Irrespective of whether the transgender person thinks I'm a woman, I should have been a woman, I should have been born a woman, I was born a man, but I've not become a woman. That is not the question. The question is the heterosexual man who has now found themselves in a situation where they've had sexual alliance or attraction for a transgender woman. That starts bringing about a crisis for them. And I think that it's only right that a transgender woman should declare to a man and say, oh, by the way, before we go home, because I see that you're very fascinated by my looks and everything, just to let you know, I'm transgender. I think is only appropriate to do that. But I'm sure there are a lot of people who will not agree with me, but it's the same thing. If I had a buzz cut and I had a flat chest, and another guy was interested in me, and he was treating me like I was a dude, I would be like, no, I'm not a man. I just look like one. I'm not one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but so before we go into the topic, I just want to quickly read the comments that has come in. So Sister Ebido Shangodare said, good evening, my lovely people. Good evening, sis. And then Dr. Sender said, hello, was listening but will vanish. Looks like a general chat. Listening is good. I have nothing of value to add. Then he said, Abby, your mom tells you she's 74. Her birth certificate gave her away. And then House of Prince TV said Megan wasn't naive. Yes, I agree. Harry was hurt. I don't agree. He was hurt. You should come and suffer. Come and suffer, Harry, suffer. In like Congo. Then we will see whether he was hurt or not. Nonsense. Okay. Emmanuel, we're still trying to add you on. Oh, I think I can add you. Yes, but yeah, please try and put your camera on. So let's go into the topic. And Laraba, you're not going to start because I know you're chomping at the bits, but I'm not going to let you start. So, Sasha, Emmanuel, can you talk to us, by the way? Oh, he's gone off. Sasha, we're still here, so come back and join us.
Wow.
What are your thoughts about this whole appearance thing. You saw the video. I'm going to see if I can get the video to be added on. But while
I've
I'm
just
trying
seen
to
that.
do that, huh?
I mean, the way I see it, you
Yeah.
know what, right? No matter how beautiful you are on the outside, because beauty's in the eye anyway, as they say, the beholder or whatever. What I can find attractive in one person, then maybe you wouldn't. I think if you've not got a beautiful soul, no matter what you look like on the outside, you're ugly, you know? And also, I must say as well, I mean, I think personally that African women and Asian women are the most beautiful, naturally looking women in the world. But that's just in my opinion. Like I say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? And it's like it's all this westernized thinking away again, fake, and getting like and makeup as well. That doesn't make you beautiful. I mean, you know what I mean. If women want to wear makeup, I've got nothing against it. I wear makeup. I mean, not that often. It makes you feel better about yourself. Then fair enough. Like for certain occasions and that. But I just think that women just need to stop thinking of themselves like, oh, I can only look beautiful if I have these enhancements done, and you know, you can be confident without all that.
To be honest,
No,
I think
yeah,
because I use
I
makeup,
am anyway.
I love makeup. I think you can enhance your body whichever way you want to. But the question is why? Now, let's ask Mr.
Mm,
H because I've come to realize in the little research I had time to do, I didn't get to do a lot of research. But in the little, okay, Yvonne's just said she's not feeling very well, so she won't be able to join us. But that's all right. Yvonne, tune in and listen if you can. Um, but I found that in the little research that I was able to do that the standards of beauty for women and for men is actually set by men. You do know that Victoria's Secret was created by a man, right? There's even a song about Victoria's Secret. It was created by a man. It was a man who created that whole Victoria's Secret, the company, the look, and all of that. It was a man that created it. And even in the fashion world, it's men that determine what male models should look like. This is the look that is going to sell the products. Same thing with women. This is the look that will sell the products. And I remember growing up that it was very skinny women who had, not a lot of boobs, not a lot of ass, that were the height of beauty back then. All the body positivity started roughly about 10, maybe 12 years ago, not more than that. So, Mr. H, with me checking on that and saying that is your gender that caused the problem. What's your thoughts about, appearance and society and just trying to, like, work that?
Yeah, I believe everybody should. Well, the way I see it, it's that it's who you think you are that you are, and how you see yourself is what you are. And beauty shouldn't be defined uh, by the hair on on your head or your eyelashes, or you know I believe beauty is both inside and both outside. And the way I operate, everybody's beautiful in their own standard, and everybody's made perfect. And I just believe, it's the way you treat yourself, and the way you see yourself, that people see. If you believe you are beautiful and you have that confidence that you're beautiful, then you are beautiful. And you don't have to let people determine how you should look. Maybe you should get a plastic surgery on your face or your nose, or alter anything in your body to look beautiful for anybody. And why I'm saying this is, let me just give you an example of something that happened about 2 years ago or a year ago. And can't remember now. I think it's 2016. Yeah, 2016. That was the first time my mother was coming to South Africa, and we went to fetch my mother at the airport with my uncle. And we fetched them at the airport, and my mother started talking. Started talking inside the car. Like, hey, what did this woman see? She said to me, when she was flying, she saw South African woman with like bar hair. When women scrape all their hair like Laraba's hair, and it was Burimakpa, and she looked so beautiful. I think that was the first time she's seen a woman with skin and looking so beautiful. She kept on saying this in the car, and my brother and I, my brother was driving, and we're like, okay, yeah, because that is how some culture here. That's how you see some women here. They are bowed and they look so beautiful. So you need to be
Like
beautiful.
me.
Yes, you need to be beautiful in your own skin, and she really appreciates it so much. And this is in our country. If you see a lady with that kind of this, you will say, maybe she's a witch, she's this, is that. But she looks beautiful in that. So people shouldn't determine or tell somebody else that they are ugly, especially women. What women don't understand is that they have to be themselves. They have to be natural, because sometimes too much of the makeup just ruins everything. Because I used to tell people, if you are a clown, you work as a clown, you have to go in there and you put on the costume and you come out and you look like a clown. But that is not who you are exactly. That is not you. When you go back there and take all those clownish attire off, that is exactly who you are. Same thing. You don't have to alter your face. You don't have to do party like what is going on in Nigeria, where everybody has to go and do their butt lifting, and it's not necessary. It's
But
not
we
necessary.
Nigerians have naturally have yash now. Why are we
No,
doing that?
no, no, no.
Not
That is
everybody, not every
no,
Nigerian has cash.
Well, as in most
no,
of us
no,
have
no,
yash. At
no,
least a
no.
sizable amount.
That is no. That is wrong. It's pure
Yeah.
wrong. Nigerian women don't don't have anything called now. It's all no, no. Just it don't
Mr.
count
H, is that
Nigerian
how you
women.
really feel?
No, I'm just being honest. Yes, I'm just being honest. But for a woman to go to that extent of doing plastic surgery on her backside just to impress men, at the end of the day, people shouldn't tell you how, if you are beautiful or not. You should feel beautiful and should be confident about it, because it doesn't matter. You see some lady that are simple dress, and people like simplicity, and you see it's just the way your style. Everybody has a style, because I used to tell people, everybody is unique. Everybody is
Mm,
unique. You just have to find your own rhythm, find your own style, and work on it, and you'll be a star. That's it. It's just as
mm,
easy as that. Yeah, that's it.
There's something you've said, and Laraba, I'm going to let you get on next. A lot of comments are coming in about the Yash situation, the bot situation. But this is the thing. I and a friend were in town, and we were just having a lazy day in town, and we saw a woman. Now, by human society standards, it would be like, lady, lady, was God angry the day he made you or what? Like, like she
That's a
was, I mean, overweight. Her face wasn't that gorgeous, that kind of thing. And if you see the guy that was walking with her,
who's
holding
this
her
in
with
Boston?
pride, huh? Sasha, what did you say?
Was this in
Hello?
This is in.
I can't hear. I can't.
her internet is.
Okay, sorry, Sasha, I can't
Oh,
hear.
it was
So,
just a joke I
anyways,
was just making. As I said, if it's in.
so anyways, I can't
Uh,
hear you, but if you type it, then I'll
mm,
be able. Let me see whether she's typed it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was
Emmanuel,
just. Can you
I
hear
will
me
kick
now?
you off
Please.
this. Anyways, so like,
Uh,
me and my friend looked at each other. If
yeah.
you see the guy that was holding her with pride and everything, he will even bend down, he'll kiss her, this one, that one. And this guy, like, even we were like, our tongues were hanging out. Like, this guy was gorgeous, like handsome. You know the quintessential Adonis look. And me and my friend looked at each other. We're like,
What does he
we
say?
looked at each other. It was comical because we looked at each other at the same time. Then looked back at the couple. Then looked up to God like, uh-uh, God, God, what did we do? What did we do that was so bad that you refused to bless us? But I now said to my friend was like, things are happening. Things are seriously happening. Like she was in her feels, man. She was really in her feelings. Because I mean, I consider myself a very pretty lady, but she's way, way prettier than myself. So she was really in her feelings like, I'm single. How? How am I single? And I said, hey, my dear, do you know one thing I've come to notice about this life? I said, that woman, her beauty might not be on the outside, but her beauty might be so immense on the inside that that guy can only see that inner beauty. He can't even see what we are seeing that we are calling like, lady, why don't you snatch yourself together, get yourself together a bit. To her, to him, she's together, she's everything. He can't see beyond that. Maybe it's her character, maybe it's her sense of self, maybe it's the way she views the world. Whatever it is, she has found the man who, the way she is, appeals to what he needs in his life. So she was like, so are you saying that I'm a bad person? I said, I didn't say that. I didn't say you're a bad person. I'm just saying it could be anything. She said, I said that I don't have character. I said, Abba, how would I say you don't have character? She doesn't have character. It's a lie. In case you're watching, I'm lying. But I said it's not about what we've done that's why we're on, and we're not undesirable. We just haven't found our own person, you know? Or maybe there isn't even a person for us. It's not a crime either way, that kind of thing. But it just made me, and I would never forget that afternoon. I still laugh a few times, and I remember how we reacted, because it was anyone who has seen us would have been like, did they plan it? Did they practice it? Because we just looked at each other, looked back at them, and then looked up. Like,
That's something that I can imagine you do. Uh,
so before you speak, Laraba, Emmanuel is saying men are the price. And then he said, some people are actual clowns even without makeup. Emmanuel, I'm going to send somebody to come and smack you. Yeah, Laraba, take it away.
well, one thing that I've realized is two things. Firstly, I think that this is, especially as women, I think that this is a unique phenomena amongst women, because obviously when we're raised, it doesn't even matter across racial lines, skinny, long hair, long legs, this is the standard. And I'm sure that, if we're to refer back to that Whoopi Goldberg and Joan Rivers video, I'm pretty sure that they both kind of understood that same sort of standard, because like I say, it runs across racial barriers. But at the end of the day, I think that confidence comes with a self-assurance. Like, speaking for myself, I was a very, very underconfident person. Like, I wasn't as assertive, I wasn't as bubbly as I am now. And I think the reason why I've gotten to this stage is because, obviously, Mr. H, I understand where you're coming from, but I love makeup. I love presenting myself. I love glamour. I love all of these things. And that's an aspect of my personality. And I don't have to be ashamed of it. And I think at the same time, I no longer am threatened by women who are exuberant or who are themselves, because I think that, we are in competition, and Abby, I love you, but and all of these different things, but I think that reaction can, and I think most women would have that reaction. What does that guy see in that plain old looking woman? But I also think that that may be part of the parcel that we're in competition. We think she's not part of the standard. Why should she get the attention? You know, and I think that back to what I'm saying is that confidence just comes in not giving a damn. Whoever you are, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny, whether if you know you're the shit. And the thing is, Abby, you know you're the shit, and that's wonderful.
I know.
And that you know, and women should celebrate that. And I think that
Mm.
that's where confidence comes from. Because somebody like Joan Rivers, for example, tore women down. She was funny, but she tore women down.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that was because of that inward hatred that she had within herself. And people who are like that have that inner hatred. And I thought to myself, if I'm getting to the stage where I'm comfortable with my flaws, I'm not perfect. If I'm comfortable with my flaws, then I don't have to look at somebody else and think, she's skinny or she's fat. I can wear my makeup and my wigs and whatever. I can look however I want to look. People can judge me. But I mean, if that other woman doesn't bother me. So I think that that's where true confidence comes from. And seeing other people, like I was talking to a friend about Amber Rose, and
Yeah.
I really like Amber Rose. I think she's dope. And I'm just going to come out and say, but I think the reason why is because she's unapologetic in who she is. And
Yes.
she doesn't need to tear other women down, you know. And I think that that's part and parcel of the confidence thing, knowing who you are, knowing your flaws, accepting rejection as well
Yeah.
from men. That's something
Oh
that I've
yeah. And that's why as I said, that incident of us, seeing the lady, this happened years ago. This happened before my emancipation from the slavery of marriage. Oh wow, I want to be married. Oh hey God, I want to be married. That was
to get
before
married.
my emancipation from that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You see, the only good thing that should happen to us is that we grow. If we are the same 5 years from point A, 10 years from point A, then it's a really sad state of affairs. And even then, even though, okay, let's be realistic. Again, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You will see some things and it's not appealing to you. It's not that it is not appealing in itself, but to you it is not appealing. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So it's not that it's not appealing in itself, but for you, because of where your mind is, it is not appealing to you.
Mm.
So when you see that, of course, there can be that reaction. But even in the midst of that reaction of, ah, I thought they said men want women who are skinny, who are this, who are that. And look at this fine looking piece of God's son walking with this wonderful child of God. And
Wonderful shadow, God. That's code word.
and you're like, how? And especially when you look at yourself. Now, even me, I knew compared to my friend, even me, I would know. Like when she was talking, I just left it to her because I felt she had more reason to be more upset than me. Because me, I was not as fine as her. You understand? And again, at that point, that's the way I felt. I felt, oh, I'm pretty. I'm not beautiful. She's beautiful. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
even my friend, I felt, she's beautiful, but me, I'm just pretty. So when she was like, God, why? I felt you have the right to complain. Me, I can't complain much because I'm not far off from the
Did she
woman.
though? Do you think she did? Because I think this is the
No,
problem.
wait. I felt I wasn't even that far off from the lady that we were looking at. So I felt I didn't
Okay.
really have much reason to complain and be vexed. I felt if anybody was going to be, and I'm telling you my state of mind then, if anyone was going to be vexed between
Yeah,
the two
she
of
was
us,
the
it would be
classic.
her, right?
Yeah.
But this is the other thing, and that's why I was now telling her because in a way I was trying to tell myself the same thing that her beauty could be inside. It could
Yeah.
be her character. It could be this. It could be that. It could,
Okay.
because I was trying to like, don't turn on me next and say I'm ugly too. because I don't feel like I'm as pretty as you. Now, if I was with that same person today and we saw someone and she reacted, because I wouldn't react like that. I'd just be like, oh, good for her, great. She's with someone who obviously loves her. End of story. And she reacted that way. I think I'm now in a headspace where I am so settled and confident in who I am that I'd
As
be
you
like,
should.
babes, maybe the reason why nobody is with you is your behavior. This face, it will fade, but your character, that one is forever. Do you understand what I'm saying? The way I would approach it would most likely
Yeah,
be very different. So
yeah.
Sasha, now Sasha, I want you to say something, and then I would read the comments, and then Laraba will go back to you. So
Mm.
Sasha, what are your thoughts on this? Please, I hope her internet is
Well,
working because I
I'd
really want
like
to
to
hear
watch
her.
this video you're saying home of this Goldberg and
Oh my god!
now
Unfortunately,
I
I've
don't
been
know
trying
about
to
you,
find a
Abby,
pure
when you had
video of
dreadlocks,
it,
but
but I've not been able to.
Oh no. Yeah.
That is, I,
This
I I
is
spent
YouTube.
if
all
I can
day
find
looking for.
the show,
Not
maybe.
YouTube. Um, it's
Laraba,
on
can you
Insta.
send it to?
Have,
I
have
don't
you
know how
ever,
to.
Abby? Don't mind it.
Let me see. I'll just see what I can find on like.
Emmanuel, I am going to kick you. He said, "Did she have big yash? My man like big yash. She had big everything. Leave me alone." So while
Yeah,
Laraba is
have
trying
you
to
ever
send
been
the
compared,
thing to Sasha,
Abby, when you're Whoopi Goldberg?
sorry, what did you say,
Yeah, do you
Sasha?
know
What did
like
you
when
say?
you had dreadlocks?
Yeah,
Was you ever can you not hear me?
yeah, I can hear
Ah,
you now.
yeah, probably come a bit closer to the phone. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it's because I can see my face in the phone. Yeah, needed to come closer. Now, when you had dreadlocks, would you ever compare to Whoopi Goldberg?
Me? No.
Did anyone ever say you look like Whoopi? Yeah. Oh right,
No, I was
okay.
never compared to
I just wanted to
Whoopi.
this question: black woman, and you
Mm.
used to have
No, I was never compared to Whoopi. I think maybe
right.
because
I
I'm
guess
not as
I've been
dark skinned
compared, and that
as
woman
her.
as well. When she,
Hello?
ah, see what you mean. Thing is, I'm not well that dark either, but
And,
dark either this woman, you know, and I was okay. I kind of brushed it on me because I like Whoopi. But then I thought, you know what? I don't look like Whoopi Goldberg. It was just like the hair and the fact that she was a black woman, or both black women. You know, so I begin to find it not that funny more, kind of thing. And it's not because, I mean, I think Whoopi Goldberg, I think she's cute, but I don't think I look anything like her whatsoever.
No, you don't. You don't. I don't.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I know what you look like. You don't look like her.
Like, I don't,
sorry to interrupt. I
I
can't
really
find.
don't sort of, yeah.
I can't
I'm
find it.
really sorry, but it's she was much younger in that video and gorgeous. She was dating Ted Danson then, so that was
Uh,
another added layer to the thing because she was dating a handsome white man that a lot of women thought was the bee's knees as of that time. So in their minds, this black woman with dreadlocks and all of that with this white man, so that added another layer. Again, this was all American perspective. It's got nothing to do with what I think. I'm just reading what was the perspective as of the
in,
time when that interview happened. So yeah, but to me it doesn't I mean, to be honest, and I know people are going to be they're going to be like, what? When I had my dreadlocks, I actually felt a lot more beautiful than I feel now with my hair this way. I felt gorgeous when I had dreadlocks because it was my hair. It was I could do whatever I wanted with it. But then I'm sure I've mentioned before I started to suffer alopecia, and so I had to shave off my entire hair. And in fact, I think that's the time I've been most heartbroken about any part of my body, when I had to shave off. Because number one, people thought dreadlocks, the people that I met who didn't know anything about dreadlocks, they thought dreadlocks was hard and coarse and like not nice. But when people, and I'll be like, touch my hair, and they'll touch my hair and they'll be like, oh my god, your hair is so soft. I
Mm.
didn't know dreadlocks could be this soft. I'm like, yeah, I can. It's hair. They thought because it's dreadlocks and it's knotted that it's hard and like maybe tough string, but my hair is super soft anyway. So they'll touch it and I mean, like people would actually be like, "Oh, I love your hair," and it's like, and I'm like, "Okay, get your hand out of my head. I want you to that kind of thing." So now that I'm putting on wigs and stuff, I don't feel as beautiful as
That
I did
makes
when I had
sense.
dreadlocks. But then that's just my own personal issues, as we say.
But that makes sense, though. I think the thing is, it's not, what? I think the thing when people, with all due respect, talk about natural beauty, I don't know if there's such a, well, there is, but I think it's overhyped. I believe in the power of makeup. I believe in the power of wearing wigs, but I kind of see where you're coming from, Abby, in that, you know, there is something like, it's funny because I'm actually thinking of getting dread locks, just because they look so nice. But I think
It's hair.
yeah, it looks really nice, and I can't remember. I don't think I've ever seen you with locks, but I'm sure you looked amazing. And I think the thing about beauty is, I think people feel comfortable around people who are comfortable with themselves. And I think that if you're fat or thin or whatever, if you have that vibe, I think even if you're not necessarily a person's type, they will still be comfortable around you because you are putting everybody at ease. If you, for example, are nervous and I've seen it because I've also used to be like that, like twitching and kind of all these different things, then people are going to be like, oh, okay, why is she nervous about herself? If she's nervous, then there may be reason to be nervous. So it's kind of like that psychological thing.
Hmm. I think it's even beyond beauty, comfortable. I mean, when you meet, like when you meet Sasha, Sasha is so like, she's herself, and in that, her being herself, there's just this power and beauty. And I'm not saying because she's here, but when you sit around Sasha, you just know you're in the presence of a woman who has no fear. And there's something sexy about that. And my carer came around this evening and I was telling her because I had to go to have an examination. And I was saying, oh, my doctor said my breasts were perky and nice. And she said, do you know that all women are low-key lesbian? Because women have no problem telling other women that they're beautiful or that there's something sexy about them. But a man will never tell another man, oh, he's sexy. No matter how sexy the guy is, he'll be like,
Bro.
sexy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have a freedom of but Mr. H is like, he's looking to this guy that's sexy. I await the day. And I will look at a man and think, oh, he's sexy. Well,
Yeah.
I think we women have a kind of freedom to be, to look at each other and be like, oh, this is nice. Girl, you look great. And when we see, Emmanuel said, I'd rather choose. He actually said, Emmanuel said, he just was, they say, I'd rather chew jeans than call another man sexy. I have
Oh,
never heard that in my life.
yeah, he says that all the
Now, Mr.
time.
H, would you rather chew jeans?
I mean,
Okay, let me go to the. That is strong,
Yeah.
strong emotions. Okay, let me go to the comment section and read what people are writing. Let me just
Thank
get.
you so much for the comment, Abby.
No, but it's the truth. I'm not saying it because you're here. I'm just saying it because it's the truth. There's
yeah.
something about a woman who is not bothered or perturbed by her by anything about her appearance. She's very
Yeah.
confident. She's who she is. She puts on her clothes. She
Yeah, you're
well oils her hair and does everything. And she goes out and she just goes out to win.
real.
Mm.
She just goes out to win. She's not about, oh, like me. Sometimes when I get into a place, I notice myself flicking my hair and I have to be like, Abby, stop that nonsense. And I have to actually tell myself actively, stop that nonsense, and just be. And I notice that when I'm just in a place and I'm just like, you know what, yeah, and myself, I'm not thinking about, oh, am I beautiful? Are they looking at me? I hope my makeup hasn't slipped. I hope my lipstick hasn't faded. And once I'm
Yeah.
not thinking about any of that, and I'm just enjoying the
Enjoying the
the
moment.
moment of being,
Exactly.
I
That's
actually
it.
start. That's when
That's
people like come around and be like, babe, there's just something about you.
it.
And I've come to realize that
That's
it is
it.
that assuredness of yourself, not in the adornment.
Exactly.
I love makeup. I love makeup. I love a good red lippy. As you can see,
Of
I love
course.
a good red lippy. However,
And it looks good on you.
thank you, girl. But the
Very
thing is
fair.
that
Fair.
it
Yeah.
shouldn't matter whether I have
Mm,
a red lippy on or not.
mm.
There,
Mm.
there should be something inside my soul that comes
Mm.
out to overcome
Yeah.
everything else. I'm sure to
Yeah.
some people I'm too short, I'm too fat, I'm
You
too
don't need it
whatever.
anyway.
But it doesn't matter. That's their perspective.
But you've
So,
got
Yeah.
Sasha, you were saying?
you've got
Chai,
oh
this
yeah,
internet is
you
trying
don't
to
need
kill me.
like I don't think personally I think you don't need the makeup. You know.
Mm.
Sasha, you haven't seen my black eyes. I look like I've been fighting
I
Oscar
mean
de
your
la Hoya.
dreads were fortunately.
It's a lot.
No, the thing is to
Okay.
me, I'd be right. You're prettier to me. You don't have your dread anymore. But I can relate to the dread thing because obviously I've got dreads as well, and it is like our power. It's like having your
Yeah.
lion's mane or whatever you call it. I
When
don't
I
know.
shaved,
But to me,
before
you're
I went
still
and
the same
shaved my head.
person, whether you've got a shave or not.
No, you see, when I
Mm,
had to shave my head, when I had to shave off the dreadlocks, I cried because,
Mm.
like you said, there's something powerful about your hair, your own hair. And then I had to shave the whole thing, and I shaved it clean like that. Like they put soap and a blade to my head and shaved everything off. And I lifted my head from my tears and everything, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, dang, my mother shaped my head good because I looked at myself and I was like, this is not bad. I
Yeah.
like this. So I lost the power, but then I gained the power in, you know what? Is not, even though the hair is great, it's about me, Abby,
Mm.
not about whether
mm,
I have something or I don't have something. It's
Mm.
about
Mm.
me. And
Mm.
that's where my journey to self-realization actually started. But let me go
Mm.
into the comments because I don't want us to exceed the time, because Mr. H has dropped out. He's like, I've had enough, especially when they start talking about men being sexy. I've had enough. He's gone to chew his jeans. So Dr. Chris said, Prof Chris Imaku, because he's a doctor but he's also a prof. I like to call him prof. Said, good to be confident. And then
is
Dr.
it comment?
Penu said, everybody is beautiful, Ke. Ah, no, no. Beauty is subjective. Beauty is subjective, but it is perhaps overrated. So that's true.
Yeah.
Beauty is overrated. But at the end of the day, what will be beautiful to me might not be beautiful to you. That's
Exactly.
just the truth. That's the truth. Then he said, physical beauty as defined by society is not the same as attractive or desirable that is defended by the onlooker.
That's a good
Is
statement.
that's a very good line. That's a very good
I
thought
like that.
there. Yeah, very good. And then Professor Chris said, South Africa get nyash passos. So it's like
What did you
that
say?
the South African women have bigger butts than Nigerian women. And
uh,
and then Dr. Senu concurred and said, Prof, there's no competition. Oh, he said, it's not a competition. And he said, then Professor Chris said, it's not only about Yash, like it's not only about the butt. He said, then he said to Dr. Senu, it's what I like. It's what I like, bros. Then Dr. Senu said, okay, what do you ask for? Chicken, what do you ask for chicken parts? He said, you only have breast, wings, thigh choice. Oh, okay. So basically, women are like chickens. Is that what you're saying, Dr. Zedu? And the House of Prince, I think this is Pamela. If I think it is Pamela. She said, beauty is in the eyes of the seer. If the eyes looking are pure, the person will see beauty. If the eyes looking are corrupted, the eyes will see ugly. Wow. That's something to think about. Corrupted eyes. But again, when you look into the fashion industry and you realize that it is men, because the man who created Victoria's Secret, from the research, also had a bit of pedophilia going on and some other deviant behavior. So that could be right, because the way he
yeah,
saw what women should look like, is he really,
yeah, that's a good
That's why I
point.
prefer to go to Ann Summers and not Victoria's Secret, anyways. And then she also said people transfer their insecurities and fears on others. Perhaps this is the reason why Joan said Whoopi is ugly. You're
Yeah,
right. Because Joan couldn't even accept that she herself was beautiful. So why would she accept that someone like Whoopi is beautiful?
yeah.
And then she said, truth be told, a few people are ugly. Ugly. Not pleasant to look like.
Mm.
And she said, Ted wasn't that handsome. And she laughed. Then Dr. Senu said, Sasha also doesn't sound anything like her. Sounds like honor. Okay. And then defined by onlooker. That was a typo. And said, no, just chicken. Women are angels. Oh, okay. So he's replying and said, no, not chicken. Women are angels. At least my beautiful daughters are. And Dr. Senu is so proud of his daughters. And they are gorgeous. I've seen photos of them. They are very gorgeous ladies. So I don't blame him. You look at them and go, I had a bit of me in that. I created that. So I don't blame him for feeling, very proud of him. But yeah, I mean, when we look at how society is with the whole sense of beauty, and even how we are complicit,
Yeah,
because we are.
true.
Emmanuel, can you talk? Instead of typing your one line zingers.
Yeah, I think Emmanuel, he's on mute. I'll text him. I'll let him know.
Okay. But I think we are complicit too. Because even if something isn't beautiful to me,
Mm.
Dr. Sedu said no DNA needed. I told you he's proud of his daughters. The pride there. Only my dad could rival that pride, but you're lucky he's not here. So, anyways, even if we don't find something beautiful, we can still find something pleasing. Does
Mm.
that make any sense?
But very much so. Makes a lot of sense. Definitely. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because there are, the thing is, there are some people who are not physically attractive. There was a guy in question. There was something attractive about him, but he wasn't my type.
Not just what's
Well,
much.
Sasha,
Mm.
I can see Sasha moving, but I can't hear anything.
yeah.
Mm.
Hey
Yeah,
God.
isn't it?
Internet, why are you doing me like this?
Yeah.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
Emmanuel says
Uh,
Emmanuel's just texted. He's saying he's watching, but he's just gonna drop comments. So maybe that's also
oh,
that.
okay. Dr. Sanos actually brought in a different angle. He said, I don't want to talk about the medical bit. Body dysmorphia disorder is a topic for another day. That is that is a territory that I'm terrified to go into because of course it then brings in other things. But yes, there's that issue of I've met a girl who this was like my very first when I like my first 2 years being in the UK. And this girl, God Almighty. If it wasn't that I was in England and I knew she was a white woman and everything, I would have thought that maybe they imported her from some famine stricken place. Skin and bones.
Unhealthily skinny.
Like, ha- she didn't look good at all. And like, it wasn't a skinny situation, it was a starving situation. Like, her skin didn't look good. And I was like, but I didn't have the liver to go and ask her, like, Menene, should I be packing sandwiches for you or something? Is there a situation with food?
I would say
Because
that. Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this thing where people eat and then they make themselves throw
Bulimia.
up,
Bulimia.
bulimia and all of that. I didn't know anything about it.
Mm.
So we now sat down at the dining because back then our offices have a dining whatever, and we all used to sit there. We used to go. They gave us free food like buffet, serious food, and this girl would have like two tomatoes, one leaf of lettuce, one onion ring, like and she will
Oof.
sit down and she'll be eating. And even the eating self, is like everything is measured and we'll be eating. And I mean, of course, I love food. So my plate is piled high, eggs, sausages, everything. I'm chopping it all and I'm looking at this girl like so we all just will be sitting there chatting, and of course, any table I'm at is fun, anyways. So
Mm.
next thing, she would join in the conversation, just
Mm.
pop in one or two statements and all of that. And
Mm.
so one of the girls was teasing me and say, I be only you, three eggs, two sausages, a potato. And I said, I beg, go, leave me. Do you know where I'm coming from? Let me eat. And she was like, she just said, she said, I really admire that you can eat and you don't have any
Yeah.
problem with it. And for a moment I thought she was insulting me. I was like, eh? Yeah, insulting me that I'm a glutton. She was like, no, 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 no. That honestly, she said, I think I can tell you, I have a problem with food. It took
Yeah.
everything in me to not say I can see that, but I was just like, problem. When you say problem, what do you mean? And she was like, oh, that she has a problem with food. Hey, Manuel is here. She has a problem with food and
There is
everything.
a lot. Oh,
And
let me see.
it was from her that I actually heard about having problems with eating,
Bulimia.
bulimia, and that she would eat that and she would go and throw up. But she was in therapy as of that time, and
Mm.
that's why what she's eating, she'll be able to keep down. And I, I I couldn't wrap my head around it. Why someone would be so scared of food. And she kept saying, no, I still need to lose. And I was like, I had to say, I said, no, you can't lose anymore. Because if you lose anymore, it means you're dead. I said,
Mm.
but I feel fat. I said, you might feel it, but you are not. And I remember telling her that. And I was like, no, you are not. You are not fat. I said, look, I said, oh, yeah, put your hand beside my own. I said, what do you call mine? That's a fat hand. Look at your hand in comparison to my own. How can you compare you to myself? And she was
Mm.
looking, she was like, yeah, but I'm like, there's no but. You are bone.
yeah.
and it doesn't look good on you. And of course, because I'm Nigerian, I didn't know how to talk to anybody who had anything like that. I was just laying it on. You are not fat, or you're skinny. In fact, you look like skeleton. Which now I'm mortified thinking about. I hope I haven't killed the poor. No, at least she was still alive many years in the same company with me. So I
Yeah,
know I didn't kill her. But I just hope that I didn't do something better. Although she started to actually add weight towards the time I left. She actually started looking good. Not add weight, she actually started to look good. Like she started to look
yeah.
good.
She helped
I
gain
didn't
weight.
know I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to address it. So, that one is a totally
Mm,
different. I can't even speak on it. It has to be
mm,
somebody who is a medical personnel that will anchor the show and deal with it, because I most likely will say something totally inappropriate, insensitive, everything, because it's such a unique situation. So,
yeah.
Sasha, any final thoughts? Because we have to shut down the show now. Emmanuel, can you say anything? Sasha, any final thoughts? Okay,
Oh,
Emmanuel wants to say something. Sasha will come back to you.
Okay.
Emmanuel,
Good evening, everybody.
good evening.
I'm
Where were
Manuel.
you when Mr. H needed you?
I wanted to address.
Oh
So,
no.
No, I was just going to say
hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, basically,
about
first of all, for the lady in your office, I would say that's insecurity, and it was good what you did, letting her
like,
know. Some
No,
people
Dr.
actually
Seno just said it's
yeah,
a mental health condition. No, it's not insecurity. Oh. It's a serious
mental health.
The
condition.
yeah.
medication, yeah. Mostly
Okay,
white people. I don't know.
but it was on her. Basically, it wasn't on societal standard. It wasn't on. It was just a a belief system. So that's that for the girl. And basically, there's actually a societal standard. And I believe once everyone can agree on something, that's the standard.
But is it
It now
everyone that agrees, or a good number of people
most
who are
a
vocal?
good number, yes, a good number of people. Like as we know, they imposed a precedent on us in Nigeria, and we just have to take it like that. So a good number of people agree on something, and then it is what it is. Yeah, we can try and push for change. We can try and push for difference, and no matter the amount of confidence that one wants to emit, it's just going to be it. Some people are going to look at some people and be like, oh, you're not just appealing in my eyes. It's just what it is. While
Yeah.
there are some people, no matter how insecure they are, they actually meet that standard. No matter how much they get, oh, I don't feel this way. No matter how much they want to downplay their beauty, they are that way. So I think that's just it. So we can't run away from the fact that there's a societal standard. It's subjective most times, but it is there. It's no matter how much one show is you're objectively beautiful, you're objectively ugly or whatever you want to say, it's still there. It's always subjective. Because
So, do
me
you
and
think that Beyonce is the height of women of beauty?
mm, she's a standard. I won't say she's Beyonce is very beautiful. I'm not even going to lie to you. I mean, I think Jay-Z bagged really hit the bag. He hit jackpot with Beyonce. If so, she's beautiful, and yes, she could be a standard. She could be that yardstick some people use to define beauty, to define societal standard of beauty.
But I think Zendaya is so much more beautiful than Beyonce.
Now, if you ask me and my guy, we would
Mm.
say, we would say Zendaya is mid.
She's what?
She's mid. I think Zendaya is mid. She's just medium. She's
Hey,
yes.
to me, she's gorgeous.
You know what I think the thing with Zendaya, Zendaya fits the standard. Like both, I don't like to say,
Standard.
oh, this person is it, but I think the thing is Zendaya. I can see what Emmanuel is saying. To me, she's not ugly at all. I would never call her a
She's
one
not
woman.
ugly.
But
Like
I
I said,
think
she's
I can
neat.
see what he's trying to say. I think it's just that somebody like Zendaya fits the bill. She's not too, because skinny is actually in. As much as we're saying what we're saying, skinny is in.
Skinny,
It's
No,
in.
skinny
to be
is not,
honest,
it's
when
not
I'm even
really
thinking of
in.
the Zendaya, is not to be. Do you know? I'm actually trying to figure out what her body looks like, and I can't picture it. It's
She's just
more
well
of her
estimated.
personality that I've seen through the screen that I find
Mm,
so beautiful.
Okay,
yeah.
well, personality, yeah.
And
Well,
to me, that translates to her face, and she's just gorgeous. She's somebody that I would love to spend an afternoon with.
You know what it is, Abby? She's confident. That's the attractive nature. She comes across as somebody, and like she's not. This is what I'm saying. There is something attractive about her. She's not like somebody like Joan Rivers who's trying to be pretty. She knows that she's not going to have a nyash. You can tell that she's naturally skinny. In other words, it's not that she's put herself on a diet, but she's comfortable. And that comfort, she doesn't go around talking about girls or whoever. She's just comfortable. She just makes her money. She acts, and I
And
think
I
that's
can't
the
even remember what
thing.
she was saying. No,
She's
continue.
more or less, she's not, she's relatively skinny. Like she's definitely not, she's not,
relatively,
she's skinny. Emmanuel, what did you say?
she's not relatively skinny. She's skinny, which I don't even see as a bad thing, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It's,
But
yeah,
and I
exactly.
know that Beyonce fans are going to be like, crucify Abby. To me, Beyonce is just there. She's like, eh. Because, like Zendaya, I've seen Zendaya look without makeup, that kind of thing. And she's like beautiful.
Mm.
And I can't recall ever seeing Beyonce without makeup. So I
Uh,
don't know what she would look like if she took away
Let
the
me Google
hair,
it for you.
the
Don't worry.
lashes, all of that. Would she be gorgeous?
I think there are
Yes,
some pictures of her without makeup, but she doesn't look ugly. I think, you know what I think it is? I think that people who were told that are beautiful, I think naturally, if you're told something over and over again, they become a bit boring. Like, for example, it's funny because I'm thinking about that Joan Crawford thing that she said that, well, I would think Cindy Crawford is more beautiful. Cindy Crawford isn't ugly, but I think that sometimes there can be some women who are boringly attractive. They're predictable, they're predictably attractive because I think that people are telling people, or society is telling us, this woman is beautiful. This woman is the standard. And I'm like, yeah, she is, but she's not the only type of beauty that there is. To the point that, ironically, she becomes boring, if that makes sense.
Mm.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think Sasha, can you talk now? Is your internet on our side, or it has gone to the dark side?
I don't,
Let's go to the dark side.
don't know. Can you
I
hear
can hear you
me?
now. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I what you just. Did I put your name right? No, is it? I do apologize
Yeah,
it
Lara
properly.
Banana.
You see, a woman is told, like throughout Lara, yeah, interesting name by the way. Yeah, sorry, I don't think I pronounced that right.
It
Yeah,
means she was born
I've
on
heard that case
Wednesday,
actually.
the same day I
Yeah.
was
From
You
born.
remember?
males
You remember,
on
Abby?
I
Yeah,
think
I told you that I'm Lara
oh
Batu.
Oh, yes, yes, I remember.
oh eh, oh
Sasha, internet is not really good.
Hey, this her
that's
internet
nice.
is
I
on the
mean,
dark side.
meaning
what
Bilus.
country is that sharing?
it's just like
Sasha, they said you are using two versus 3G in 2023.
it's very
Why is your
interesting.
internet doing me like this?
And it's, yeah.
Okay, you know what, Sasha, don't stress yourself because we can't hear you. So I'm just going to read the comments and then we would, finish out the show. So, um,
Coincidence, Abby.
Dr. Senu said Sasha also
Yeah,
doesn't
to
sound
the
okay. She said that. Okay, wait. I think there's a comment here from. Oh, what country is Sasha in? She's in the UK with me here. She actually lives about maybe 30 minutes away from me. We see each other in town, and then we every time we see each other, we're like like we've never seen each other before. So Dr. Seno said body dysmorphic disorder. Body dysmorphic disorder or body dysmorphia is a mental health condition where a person spends a lot of time worrying about flaws in their appearance. These flaws are often unnoticeable to others. So others don't see these flaws, but they spend a lot of time worrying about it. And it can also lead to depression, self-harm, and even thoughts of suicide, which is why I am saying I, I'm glad that I didn't do anything bad with my comments to that lady, because I was coming from the pure Nigerian does not know any better, just talk as we see it, not realizing that there are nuances and all that kind of thing situation. Then Dr. Sena said, final word, look as good as you can, but there's so much ugly that is not visible. Societal beauty is fine, but what if it does not appeal to individuals? That is
Mm,
the core of this discussion. Mhm. Many
that's it.
models who have had difficulties will tell you that this societal standard is subjective. And that is true because there are many models who we will look at them and go, wow, you're gorgeous. And they'll be like, I don't get any work because every time I go for a casting, I'm not the look they're looking for, you know?
Mm.
Um, I said, so it's always subjective. The fashion and entertainment acting industry gets the standard there. A lot of beautiful ladies with zero personality will be passed over. That's true. Because it's not just about you being beautiful, it's about people being able to be captivated when you're watching on screen, So that's why for me as an actor, is very, very is fundamental that I'm not concerned about my looks per se, but what I can say with my face and how I can capture someone. Then Dr. Sen said, I have photographed a lot of really gorgeous ladies. It is overrated. Beyonce is pretty. Aha, that's what I'm saying. She is pretty. She's not beautiful. Thank you. Beyonce is pretty, but she's shapely and she's very confident. That I agree.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys is beautiful, but not everybody's cup of tea. She stopped using makeup to make a point.
Who's this? Is it Zendaya?
No, Alicia Keys.
Check is
Okay, yeah, that's
She
true.
is beautiful.
Yeah, she is. She is. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Beyonce is pretty. Alicia Keys is beautiful. You see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Sedu. You proved my point. So if they come with pitchforks for me, I'll come to your house.
The
uh,
beehive.
and Emmanuel just had to ruin it all for all of us by saying, I'm big bum bum. Very important. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you for everyone who's chipped in. Thank you to Lara Bart, to Emmanuel, to Mr. H, who was running away to eat his jeans, to and to Sasha
Asha.
also. And I also want to say a massive thank you to Sister B Dari. Shangodare, sorry, and then also to I'm trying to get to the comments, to Dr. Senu, Professor Chris Aimaku. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for joining us. Until we do this again, because who knows what edition we'll be doing next? Maybe money edition, or job edition, or party edition, because there is a party edition and all of that. But whatever edition we're doing, please make sure you join us, make sure you're part of us. Sasha, I'm bringing you on even though we're saying goodbye. uh
Oh, she's gone.
so whatever edition it is, thank you so much for joining. We look forward to doing this again with you next week. Sorry if my energy levels aren't that great. It's been a very tough couple of weeks. I'm just trying to get through. So we do this again, same time, same place. Take care and God bless. After party, people don't leave.
Hey, bye, everyone.